Hello everyone and welcome to a new series where we'll be going over all things Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World. This is the new card game that was announced by Bandai about 3-4 months ago, maybe even a little bit more. I heard about it 4 months ago. It is separate than the current Dragon Ball game that is out. That is going to be referred to as Masters, and then this will be referred to as Fusion World. So two separate card games that will be going on at the same time, but they do not interact with each other. The Master cards will be only used for Masters, and then Fusion World will only be used for Fusion World. I have never played Dragon Ball Masters, so I don't have any prior knowledge to certain cards that exist in the Dragon Ball game. So I won't be referring to the cards in Fusion World as oh, this is how it works in Masters, or oh, this card exists in Masters, so it might exist like this in Fusion World. There's no speculation like that. This game kind of functions more along the lines of One Piece. It's faster than One Piece. One Piece is a 35-minute timer with 5 minutes of overtime. This game is a 20-minute timer with 5 minutes of overtime. It's got starter decks, it's got boosters, it's got everything. It's it's a regular card game. It's just faster pace. There will be times that I'll use I will probably make more references to One Piece than any other card game, just because this is produced by Bandai and it does function similar to how One Piece functions. They are separate games. They do have separate playstyles, but there's just aspects of it that it just works like how One Piece does. So we've covered what the card game is, how it differentiates from the other Dragon Ball card game. But now we're going to go over how the game is actually played, and then we'll look at one of the starter decks and kind of use those cards in there as examples for gameplay. And in other videos, we'll go over the other starter decks, and as more cards come out for the first booster, which is Awaken Pulse, when all those cards are released, then we'll cover that. So on their official website, they have a little introduction. It tells you everything you need to know. Quick little pieces of how the game is played. I'll take these little simple pieces and I'll kind of explain a little more in depth. So there are leaders in this game. A leader can awaken. It changes their effect and also makes them stronger. This awaken can be used in a offensive aspect or a defensive aspect, depending on how you want to use it. And also maybe the awaken effect will benefit you if you use it in a defensive, or the effect benefits you if you use it in a aggressive aspect. It's just whenever leaders get revealed, you can kind of make assumptions on that. Then there's a thing called combo. So you don't boost your leader or your attacking card up before you swing. You declare the attack. Your opponent then is given the option of blocking. If they have a blocker, they're given the option of blocking. If they don't block, it's then back to you, where then you're at your combo step, where you can use cards from your hand or use cards that are currently in active mode on your field for combo to increase your power for the attack. So here it uses Android 17 as an example, where it has this little note right here where it says plus 10,000. I know that this leader is a 20k boost or 20k base. So if you use one of these from your hand, that 20 is now 30. And if you have one of these in active mode on your field, you can use that as a combo, making your 30 up to a 40. And then now you're swinging 40k at their leader or at their battle card or whatever. So there's a little timing aspect of it. And one thing to note, that if your opponent, or if you or your opponent, whoever, when after an attack is declared, if the defender does not choose to activate a blocker at that time, and the attacker then proceeds to their combo step, the defender does not have the option of activating a blocker after your opponent does the combo. So you can't use a blocker and you can't use it after they've played cards from their hand, because if that was the case, no one would activate a blocker Your opponent would swing with a combo. If they boosted up the combo, then they would just block. And if they use 4 or 5 cards out of their hand, you just block, and now they're burnt out 4 or 5 cards, and they burnt cards out of their hand. It would just put them at a big disadvantage, and it was just kind of like, oh, or is this person going to block, or oh, is not, and then it would just make the game last longer. So I kind of like that aspect of it. Then we get down here to the card types. One of them is a leader card, so everyone's going to have a leader. And then the main deck, or your deck, consists of, it says here 50 to 60 cards. The starter decks only have 50 cards in them. It's a 51 card starter deck, so 1 card's the leader and then 50 is the deck. It might, honestly, there's no official like rule sheet as of right now, so it might actually be 50 to 60 cards. So if you want to have 55 cards, you can, but just all the starter decks are 50. So maybe they'll change it to where it's only 50, or maybe they'll keep it. And if you want a 60 card deck, you can have 60 cards. There's probably advantages, disadvantages, you know, all that stuff. It's just we don't know because it's still technically in the early stage. We're getting card reveals, but we don't actually have rules set in place, which they might still be making the rules. But there's battle cards and extra cards, event cards, character cards, whatever you want to call them. I'm probably going to flip-flop between battle or character or extra or events or whatever, you know. If I say events, I'm talking about these. If I say extra, you know, if I say characters, I'm talking about these. Obviously, leader is a leader. This is the general setup of the game. You have your leader up here in the top left. You have your deck right here. You have your drop area, which is just a trash, and then you have your life. Every leader has 8 life, and the main difference about this game is, compared to One Piece, is when you hit 0. So if you're at 1 life and they hit you and the attack goes through, the opponent wins. It's as soon as you hit 0. One Piece, you can go down to 0 life, and then you can then play out another turn and potentially win. And then if you get hit one more time after 0, then you lose. I think it's like that for Digimon too, but this game, as soon as you hit 0, game over. Obviously, you can also lose if you deck yourself out, but just the main thing is just as soon as you hit 0, game over. There's a little video on the website where they kind of go over all this stuff in, you know, a nice little way. And then here's the download of the official rules. It just takes you to this little spreadsheet, or it's essentially if you get the demo deck from some event, this is the other. You get a play sheet. This is the other side of the play sheet, where the first side will be this up here in the top right. This will be the other side of this sheet right here. But it kind of just goes over this top part's just everything. Everything that we already went over, talking about the cards and stuff like that. But then it tells you the game setup. So you put your leader there, you put your deck, you flip a coin, roll a dice, rock, paper, scissors, whatever, decide who's going first, who's going second. You take the top 6 cards, that's your hand. You have 1 mulligan. If you don't like your hand, you know, if you have, like, if you're going first, but then your hand is more consistent for going second, then, you know, you mulligan, you get 6 more cards, and then you take the next top 8 cards and put them in your life. And then the one thing that makes this kind of different than other stuff is if you're going second, you get an energy marker. This energy marker can be used 1 time for energy of any color, so it doesn't matter what leader color you have. It's just an energy that's a 1 use. So if you go second, if you put down an energy, which I'll talk about that in a second, you put down energy, you have 2 energy, you can use those 2 energy to put down a 2-drop, but then once that energy marker is used, it gets discarded, it's put away, and now you're down to 1 energy. So it's an advantage, but if you use it too early, if you use it at the wrong time, then it puts you at the same energy as your opponent. So there's 3 phases in the game: charge phase, main phase, end phase, and then there's the battle procedures for during the main phase. But the first phase is charge, where you restand all your characters. Every character or leader that's in rest mode, which is sideways, you get to restood. You draw a card. If you're going first, you do not draw a card. And then you charge a card. So basically you take a card from your hand. It can be an extra card. It can be a battle card. You put it face up, upside down in the active mode on your energy area. And then now you have 1 energy to play a 1-drop or play an event or whatever you want to do. Then you proceed to the main phase. It says you can do 1 through 3 at any time that you want, basically. So use a card from your hand. This is the 3-drop. They rest 3 energy. They play a 3-drop. Pretty simple. You can activate card skills. So cards that have activate main can be used only during your turn. And then there's also an awakening skill, which we talked about how you awaken your leader. This one's the starter deck Goku, which we'll go over in a second and talk about the cards in the deck and how it pertains to battle order. You can awaken a card during your turn, and then there's an attacking a card. You can always attack your opponent's leader. You can only attack rested opponent's cards, and then it mentions blocker. If a player has a blocker on the field, one of their cards is attacked, they can activate blocker before the offense step proceeds, which the offense step is the attacker's combo. So right here, it would be, like I said earlier, this Piccolo declares an attack on the defender's leader. The defender then has an option of activating a blocker. If they do not activate a blocker, then it proceeds to the offense step, so it goes back to the attacker. They then have a choice of using activate battle or awakening. Activate battle can be used during your turn or your opponent's turn. It's the activate main where you're limited to just your turn. You can use combos from your hand. You can use active cards. Let me zoom in over here. If you have active cards on the field, like this one, like say if you're attacking with your leader at their leader, you have this Piccolo here. Your leader's 15. You use this Piccolo as combo power, so plus 10,000. So now you're at 25. And then you can use 3 cards from your hand as combo power. So plus 10, plus 10, plus 5. So now you're at 50. Then after you use combos, after you use awakens, after you use battle, whatever, then it goes back to the defender. They can then do the same thing you just did to try to raise their power in defense to not have a card KO'd or not take a life or whatever. Then after that, it proceeds to the damage step, where if the attacker number is bigger than the defender number, then the attack goes through. Defender number higher than the attacker number, they defend. Then it ends. Then it ends battle, and then if you want to attack again with something else, it just redoes it all. Victory conditions: your opponent's life is reduced to 0, your opponent's deck is reduced to 0. So those are the only 2 ways you can win as of right now. So that's how the game is played in terms of like how the order is going. But so we're gonna hop over here to Eggman Events, his website. YouTuber, covers a lot of games. He's covering Fusion World as well. This is the only place that I can find the cards with decent images, but you can read the text on them. Because there's not like an official card list as of right now. So I'll link this website down in the description. I'll also link to the Eggman YouTube channel, because he covers a lot of One Piece stuff, Digimon, Fusion World stuff. So he covers a lot of different stuff. But just kind of give him props, and just since I'm using his website, I might as well go and do all that stuff. So like I said, we're gonna cover the red starter deck only today, and then in another video we'll cover the other ones. This is Goku, the leader card. He has a when attacking effect, draw 1 card, and awaken when your life is at 4 or less, draw 1 card, and then flip this card over. So it's a 15k base, and you get a card draw every single time. Good example of this awaken effect. You declare an attack. Your opponent's already awakened. They're awakened, and they're at 20k. You swing at their leader, so 15 at 20. They don't activate a blocker. You then activate the card, so you draw the card for attacking. They then have an option of activating a blocker. They don't block. You then use your awaken effect. If you're at 4 or less life, that's the main thing. You're at 4 or less life. you draw another card, then flip him over, so now he's at 20, and then you can then combo to increase your power from 20 or more if you wanted to. Also, I'm pretty sure while you're swinging with this guy, you awaken him, then you can use this activate battle effect because it's during your battle. Once per turn, choose up to one of your battle cards and it gets 5,000 power for the turn, so you can use that effect and boost up one of your other battle cards by 5,000 during that same attack. I'm pretty sure you can do that because you can only use this effect when you're attacking, and when you awaken him, you're now attacking and activate battle. So I could be wrong about that. If I am wrong, I'll correct it in a later video, or if someone already knows, comment it down below. But I think you can. He does keep the when attacking, so it's just a good way to draw. So, just a general, regular old, a basic, but good red leader. Now we're going to look at the battle cards. One thing to note for this power up here, this Whis is a really good example. If you're playing a mirror match, they put down a Whis just to have a 1-drop on the field. It comes to your turn. You then play your own Whis. You target with this on play, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 5,000 power for the turn. You target their Whis, making their 5,000 down to 0. That Whis is then trashed. If a battle card's power goes down to 0, it leaves the field. It's not KO'd, I believe, but it is trashed. So any on KO effects that a card might have does not trigger. It just gets placed in trash. So this is a good card to play to get rid of a blocker. If a blocker only has 1,000 power, or if a blocker has 5,000 power, you play this. You reduce that blocker down to 0. That blocker is now gone, and then you swing with your leader. And as I said before, active mode characters or active mode battle characters on the field can be used as combo. If your leader's awakened and they're at 20k, you swing with the leader, you do this draw card, whatever, yada yada. This Whis is on the field. This Whis you already played to get rid of a blocker. And then you can then use this 10,000 combo to then make this 30k. And then after the battle resolves, this gets put in the trash. You popped a blocker, you boosted up your power, it's done its thing. Next we have Master Roshi. He's a 1-drop, 5,000 power, 5,000 combo, on play draw card. Just a good turn 1 play to get a defense combo on the field or an offense combo, depending on if you're going first or second, and then just another way to draw a card. Then we have Krillin, a 2-drop, 15k, 10,000 combo. He has a permanent effect, which only procs during your turn, where he gets 5,000 power. So he is a 20k during your turn only, and has an effect on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So if you need to get your life down to that 4 life to then awaken, this is the card for you. Then we have Shin. He is a super combo. Super combos, it's stated you can only have 4. You can only have 4 super combos in your deck. And this is a pure defensive card, so it has this 10,000 combo, or 10,000 combo right here. So if you use it for an attack, it's a 10,000. But it has an auto here during opponent's turn. If you use this in a combo from your hand, this card gets 10,000 combo power. So it is offensively, it is a 10,000 combo. Defensively, it is a 20,000 combo. So it's kind of, it's kind of designed only to be used during your opponent's turn. Android 17, 3-drop, 20k, 10,000 battle, or 10,000 combo. Permanent during opponent's turn, this card gets 5,000 power. So it is a 20 during your turn, it is a 25 during your opponent's turn. He also has the on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So opposite of Krillin, where he's a 15 during your opponent's and he's a 20 during your turn, add the card. Android 17 is a 25 during your opponent's turn and a 20 during your turn. So it's just that much harder for your opponent to KO it or pop it with the reduction effects. Android 18 is a vanilla 2-drop, 20k, 10,000 battle power. Your standard run-of-the-mill vanilla. You can put it down for 2. If you just need to play something for 2 energy, you can put it down. and then use this for combo if you want, or just get another swing out. Here's the first SR. The starter deck is a 5-drop 35k Son Goku. He has 0 combo power. Most SRs I've seen either have 0 or 5,000. It's just depending on how good the card is on the field, to where that's kind of your intention of playing. He has Double Strike. Double Strike is different in this game than it is One Piece. If your opponent has 2 life and you hit them with Double Strike, they lose the game instantly, because they take both life. Their life is now down to 0. It's game over. And then also has an on play. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 20,000 power for the turn. So you play it down. You guarantee that you're gonna trash one of their blockers, and then swing with Double Strike to go for game. Really good card for the starter deck. Then we have Gohan, 4-drop, 25k. He's an SR, so it's got that 5,000. So it's either 0 or 5,000. He has Crit, which Crit is like Banish for One Piece, or I can't remember what that is for Digimon, but just whenever this card hits your opponent's leader, instead of your opponent taking that life card to their hand, it gets put into the trash. And he also has an effect when attacking. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. So if for some reason there was a 30,000 blocker on the field, you can play Son Goku minus 20,000, and if somehow you can play Gohan right after, you can minus 10,000 and then get rid of their 30k blocker, if you have a way to do that. Or, you put down the Gohan next turn, or the first turn, or not first turn, but one turn you put down Gohan, and then next turn you put down the Goku, swing with the Gohan, and then you get rid of the big blocker. Something like that. TN, 1-drop, 15k, 10,000 combo. It's just another, you can put it down turn 1, get a swing out of it, or if you wanted to combo with the 10k, something like that. Piccolo, another vanilla 3-drop, 25k. 25 is pretty big. The Broly starter deck leader goes up to 25 when he awakens, so this is a card you can put down at face value. You can swing at the strongest starter deck leader, so not that bad. Then we get Beerus, our second crit character. 3-drop, 20k, 5,000 combo. When attacking, choose up to one of your other battle cards, and it gets 5,000 for the turn. So you can, if your Goku's awakened, you swing with Goku, you activate battle, give this Beerus plus 5,000, boosting him to 25. Have that kind of battle resolve. And then you swing with Beerus for 25 because of the Goku boost. You can then boost up Gohan by 5,000, making him 30k. So that's a 25k crit into a swinging with Gohan, trashing or getting rid of their blocker or getting rid of a card on their field, swinging with a 30k crit base. So a 20k or a 20 crit, or not 20 crit, a 20 base swing, a 25 base crit, and then a 30k base crit. This card is like big hits, kind of forcing your opponent to burn cards out of their hand and just getting them into a situation where you can end up doing a double strike with Goku and win the game. Frieza, 4-drop, 30k. A better version of Piccolo. It is 4, but it's still got the combo power. It's 30k, so we can hit Broly and have them have to use a combo to get out of it. Vegeta, 2-drop, 15k, 10,000 power crit. This is a good card for if you're going second and you want to crit turn 1, where you charge an energy and then you play this Vegeta down using the energy marker, and now you have a crit turn 1, because you can swing going second. You can swing with it. So you swing with leader and swing with this, potentially get a crit off, and they're down a card and down a life. Every starter deck has 2 extra cards. This one has Kamehameha and a God Kamehameha. 1-drop, activate battle, so you can use this defensively or offensively. Your leader battle card gets 15k power. Then choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5,000 for the turn. So use it offensively. You can boost up your leader and then kill a card or something like that. Or, if they have a blocker, they decide not to block, but they're going to block the next one. You can get rid of a blocker or just reduce the target of your attack down by another 5,000, kind of guaranteeing a KO or whatever. So you can't reduce their leader, you can only reduce battle cards. God Kamehameha, it's a 2-drop. This one is a permanent. If you have no battle cards, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 30,000 power or less and KO it. So this can kind of work in conjunction with Whis pretty well. Say if you need to kind of clear board on their side, they have a 30k on there, and then they have another a 25k or something like that. You have Goku awakened as 20. You swing at their 25k character. Whis is active. You've played their Whis. You've played your Whis. You reduce their 35k. So like if their Goku's 35, right? Yeah. So if they have a Goku, you play Whis, target their Goku. They have an Android 17. So Whis targets the Goku. Goku's down to 30. You then swing. You're swinging with lead for 20 at their Android 17. You then boost up the combo power with this Whis, making your leader 30. So it's a 30 to 25. You have that resolve. Whis is now off the field. You have no battle cards on the field. You then play this event. You only have 1 energy left. You have no battle cards, so you can play it for 1, and then you can KO their double strike Goku, or whatever card you targeted to make him down to 30. You can then KO them for 1 energy, which is a pretty good effect. That can obviously work with any card that you play into that. You can use it you play a card for some effect, like play a Roshi, and then use Roshi as combo or something like that. It can work for any of them, but I think Whis is kind of a little better. I guess you could swing. You play Gohan, swing with them, reduce somebody by 10,000. So if it's a 40, you can bring the 40 down to 30 and then play the event. But then you're getting rid of a 4-drop with crit, so it's kind of there's some other options. So yeah, so that's kind of the introduction to the game. Some cards with some examples of gameplay. I will go over all of the other starter deck cards in another video. This one is just kind of an introduction to tell you what this card game is, and if you know other card games, how this one is played differently than those ones. I will have a link to the this little website here, Eggman Games, where it has all of the starter decks on there, which I will be using this website when I go over every card and talking about some examples for them. This also has some of the cards that have already been announced for the first starter deck, and then the promo pack, which the promo pack I'll go over the promo pack at some other starter deck video. I'll just include it in there because there's not a lot of cards in there to go over for a video just by itself. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more Dragon Ball Fusion World content in the future. I will also be still covering One Piece content. It's just One Piece is preparing for the North American finals. We got set 5. But it's not until after finals, which is in at the end of January, that stuff isn't going to kind of happen. They'll announce some stuff. I'll cover it eventually, but I am getting back into the swing of making videos. So be sure to subscribe for more videos covering Fusion World and One Piece. And if there's something I got wrong in this video, please comment below. I'm still learning this as I go. I've had to do some deep dive info on this because, like I said, there's no official rules right now. There's just this little spreadsheet, and I have to go off of this and what I learned from other people. So yeah, but like I said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.